How are we doing, folks? Welcome back to the Nightmare Cabin. We're going to be doing another review, and we are talking about the new album from Ozzy Osbourne, Patient Number 9. A bit of a mixed bag, this one. There's a lot to go into, really. I'll start with a positive. Pretty much, this is carrying on from where Ordinary Man left off from 2020. As everyone knows, Ozzy Osbourne should be retired by now. His final tour should have been finished years ago. I've still got tickets to the London show, and that was cancelled once before the lockdowns. So yeah, and it's still not going to be going ahead till 2023. So during that time, he's knocked this album out, and then where there's no tours, he's gone and knocked out another one. So let me put this one back just quickly. Going into the positives, it's Ozzy Osbourne. I mean, what it comes to what do you really want from an Ozzy Osbourne album at this point, and what has he got left to do at this point in his career at his age? You know, his farewell tour should have been finished years ago at this point. And, you know, I would actually rather he didn't finish the tour that he's got. I think he's got about 25 dates left to do. I'd rather he just cancelled them and just carried on recording. I think he should do a Johnny Cash. Johnny Cash retired from touring and just recorded. And that American songbook or whatever it was he was doing. What was that? What was on volume 6 of that? Maybe do something like that. But anyway, we've got this. You know, the artists you love, it's good just to have good music. It's good to have new music from them, you know, regardless. You know, so yeah, let's get into it. It's pretty much what you would expect from Ozzy Osbourne at this point. I think it's pretty fair to say from from No More Tears onwards, you're basically getting radio-friendly metal. You're getting radio rock. And if you're not happy with that, I suspect you've probably not listened to an Ozzy Osbourne album for a few years now. And that's not going to change. If you are okay with it and you're happy with it, like I am, I accept, you know, I'm going to get radio-friendly rock. I'm happy with it. And I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying it while it's on, but there is a few little niggly bits. I think my favourite songs, I do really like Parasite. I think with repeated listens, these choruses do stick in your head. And there's a lot of enjoyable songs on it. Opening track, Patient Number 9, which is about a mental patient. And it's a little bit Alice Cooper, I suppose. I don't know why he felt the need to call the album Patient Number 9, but maybe he's explained it in an interview or something. But yeah, it's pretty much mid-paced, pretty basic riffs. Some really good solos. We'll get to that in a bit. But it's the standard fare from Ozzy Osbourne, which you've come to expect in this later part of his career. And he's not reinventing the wheel. He's doing what he knows and he's doing what he's good at. And I think he's doing what the fans have come to expect. So it's all good. And it's pretty much on par with Ordinary Man. If you like that album, you're pretty much going to like this. And this picks up where that album left off. What I thought, as I was thinking, you know, setting up to do this review, I was just a couple of little criticisms, a couple of little niggly bits and then all of a sudden, the more I thought of it, the more the more I thought of, and then I thought, oh, bloody hell, maybe I want to like this album more than I actually do. But if you're a regular viewer of this channel, you know I take no pleasure in slagging an album off, and I'd rather just not review it and move on. But with 2 Black Sabbath retrospective videos, and I do intend to do an Ozzy Osbourne retrospective, there's no way I wasn't going to review this. Right, I think a lot of the songs are far too long. you know, the opening track is 7 minutes long. You don't need that from Ozzy, and you know, it doesn't really pay off. There's a lot of songs that start off with a slow introduction, and then sort of build up into this mid-paced sort of like groove. But yeah, look, 7 minutes. There's 6 minutes. There's 5. You know, they all sort of go over 4 minutes and over 5 minutes, but none of them really need to be that long. Again, there's a lot of quiet introductions that sort of build up, and the album is about an hour long. And I think it could just do a bit of trimming. That was all. You know, even a 10 seconds here and a 20 seconds there, it would add up to a good. There's a good song's worth that doesn't need to be on here. There's a couple of little bits as well where, like at the end of Parasite, you hear Ozzy go, "I've got worms." And there's another bit at the end of Mr. Darkness. You don't even. The chorus goes, "You don't even know my name," and at the end he goes, "You don't even know my name, you asshole." And it's funny the first time, but when you start hearing it happens, he ends up saying something funny at the end of most songs, and he's having fun. I mean, fucking hell, don't you know? Let's not get too aggy over that. It was only when I listened to the album. I've just been out and I've just listened to the album on the way home, and I'm enjoying, much like the Megadeth album, which I reviewed with Gully the other day, and I said it then, I'm enjoying the album while it's on. And yeah, maybe some standout songs, you know, that stick in your memory could be helpful. Maybe I'm reviewing the album a bit too soon and I've not fully digested it, but when it comes to the whole 10 years I've been reviewing albums for, you know, different magazines and websites, etc. At the very least, I would listen to an album 3 times, and I was on a lot more of a rush in that time. So, and I've listened to this for a good week now, and not every day, but on and off. And this is Ozzy Osbourne. This isn't like Nile or something like that. Like the songs are meant to be catchy. They're melodic. They stick in your head. Pretty much most Ozzy Osbourne songs you hear once you first time you hear them, they stick in your mind. But yeah, this isn't really sticking in my mind that much. But like I say, I'm enjoying the album while it's on, and there are songs that I'm enjoying more and more the more I hear them. It wasn't until I looked into the notes and who's actually on this album, who's the drummer. I know there was a lot of guests on it, and when I looked into who's on the album, that's when it really kind of apparent to me what's wrong with it. I mean, let's face it, there's a lot of talk about this being Ozzy's final album, but there's been talk of Ozzy, the new album being Ozzy's final album since Osmosis. So, you know, and who knows, he may have recorded enough material to do another 5 albums, you know, at these artists go. We're still getting new Jimi Hendrix music today. So, but, right, let's go through it. We've got Jeff Beck on the album. We've got Eric Clapton. You've got Taylor Hawkins, God bless, and Chad Smith from Red Hot Chili Peppers, both doing a drop. Taylor Hawkins does 3 songs and Chad Smith does the rest. Chad Smith did the last album. You've got Mike McCready from Pearl Jam. And then on the bass, you've got Duff McKagan on a couple of tracks. And then the majority of it is done by Robert Trujillo. I think that is, you know, Metallica, Suicidal Tendencies, former Ozzy Osbourne anyway. And Zakk Wylde's back. Zakk Wylde plays guitar and piano on, let's have a quick look, on quite a bit of the album, actually. Yeah, you've got the 2 girls that are in the synth band. They do the backing vocals for Roger Waters at the moment in all the crazy makeup. You've got them on it doing backing vocals. Yeah, Zakk Wylde does guitar on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 of the 12. Is it 12 songs we've got here? Yeah, 13. 8 out of the 13 songs Zakk Wylde's on, and yes, the album is just over an hour long. And when was the last album Zakk was on? I think it was Black Rain. Yeah. And so, yeah, Zakk Wylde's back. 2 songs are written with Tony Iommi. And Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton and Pearl Jam guys on here. And you just think it would be a bit more of a varied album. That's all. And that's what the problem is. you've got this Andrew Watt guy who, you know, no offence to anyone, but the guy looks like he should be producing a Lady Gaga album, not Ozzy Osbourne, you know. The guy looks like a fucking LA hairdresser. And I just don't get why Ozzy's working with him. I mean, that Ordinary Man is good, and I know the guy's primarily a producer, and he is a good producer, and fair enough, he's producing this album, but you've got all these different guitarists and all these different musicians on there, and all the songs are written by Ozzy and Andrew Watt and Chad Smith, and the odd person here and there. There's a couple of different people in the mix here and there, but all of them, the constant is Ozzy and Andrew Watt. So it doesn't matter who's playing guitar, does it? I mean, at no point have I been. I didn't realise this until I saw how many people are actually on this album, and obviously it's on the sticker. But I was thinking, like, I don't know who's played on what, and nothing's standing out. There's the odd riff here and there. That sounds like Zach. A solo. Oh yeah, that sounds like Zach. But Zach hasn't written anything. You'd think if he was getting Zach Wilde back in the band, you'd get Zach to write something, for God's sake. I mean, the guy only wrote the bulk of your hits in the late 80s, 90s from No Prayer for the Dying. No, that's fucking Iron Maiden, isn't it? What am I talking about here? No Rest for the Wicked, No More Tears. I mean, them two alone. Osmosis, and then you got Down to Earth and Black Rain. Yeah, you've not worked from him all this time. You think you would have let him write. Even the Tony Iommi songs. Tony Iommi's in the writing credits, but Andrew Watts seems to be still the bulk of it all. You think it would... Who the fuck? Tony Iommi writes on his own. The guy's done like 20 Black Sabbath albums, 10 of them without Ozzy. What does Tony need help with? Yeah, so the problem is that there's no distinction. I did not know what songs Tony played on until I just read a few minutes before reviewing this. And even then, they weren't the standout tracks at all. So this album isn't what it could be with all these different people on it. I mean, Tony Iommi's on 2 tracks, right? You could have wrote 2 songs, primarily with Tony. Zach Wilde's on 8 of the songs. He could have at least written 6. He could have brought it to the table. Don't tell me Zach Wilde couldn't bring some riffs to the table. I'm sure he was gagging to as well. I bet it's killing him. Because Zach loves Ozzy, and I know, the reason he was out of the band was from, at the time we've got these reasons, but over time the real reasons has come out. We don't need to go into that now. So for him to be back on an Ozzy album and not write for it, it's a bit, I don't know, it just feels like a bit of a wasted opportunity. And imagine if he wrote something with Jeff Beck and Eric Clapton retrospectively. I mean, Ozzy's a blues. Black Sabbath was based on blues. He could have done some old blues stuff. And that's the thing that really fucking pissed me off, was that Dark Side Blues, the last song, is like this bluegrass, slidey guitar blues number. And Ozzy's singing like it. And like he's doing this whole, like that whole bluesy, sitting on my porch. It sounds like an old blues song. It's really good. But it's a minute and a half. Excuse me. The album is an hour and a minute long. And a minute and 47 is the most interesting part of the album, arguably. And it kind of got me thinking towards the end. I was like, wouldn't it be good if Ozzy did a blues album? Fuck it. Why didn't he give it a go? There was talk of Black Sabbath doing that. Doing a lot of blues cover. Do you remember when the Rolling Stones did a blues cover album a few years back? Ronnie, Keith, Mick, Charlie all went through their record collections and got out some obscure blues songs and covered them. And apparently there's another album's worth of stuff that hasn't even been released yet. I'd love to see Ozzy doing that, and he could have done that with all these guitarists. But instead you've got this generic LA radio friendly rock. Oh, Josh Homme from Queens of the Stone Age is on it as well. Could have wrote a song with him. All of these people that are on it, he could have wrote songs with them. I don't get why he didn't do that. But with that being said, I do like it while it's on. It's a good album, but the main selling point is the amount of guests that we've got on it, and the album could have been so much better had those guests been used properly, is what I'm getting at. Instead, you've just got basic radio rock that I was okay with, and I would have been okay with it if it was the same lineup as the last album. But yeah, Ozzy's he's in love with this Andrew Watt guy at the moment, because, you know, he's got 2 albums up with him now, and yeah, so I know I just completely ripped on it, but it's not bad. It's good. So, but it's what you come to expect from later day Ozzy, and it's a good addition to the catalogue. And, you know, if this is, you know, touch wood, this is Ozzy's final album, it's not a bad way to go out. I mean, if he's happy with it, so, you know, whatever. My favourite songs, I do really like Parasite, and actually I actually really like the last couple of songs. Dead and Gone's got a really catchy chorus, and I really like God Only Knows as well. And I really like Dark Side Blues. I wish he would have, I hope to hear him expand on that. So, yeah, mixed emotions on this one, and like I say, it's not a complete, it's not a bad album at all. Just from the potential it had is a bit of a shame, because, like I say, you've got an album here with some of the best guitar players in the world, you know, some of the best musicians in rock, and it all sounds more or less the same, because none of them were used to their full capacity. They were just brought in and, you know, play this bit, play that bit, you know, which is a shame. So, yeah, don't like being too negative in my reviews. I'd much rather you give you something. I'll check that out, or look out for that. But one has to be honest, otherwise, what's the point? So, yeah, Patient Number 9 by Ozzy Osbourne. It's not bad, but not that essential. Enjoy it if you're a fan. If not, if you're new to Ozzy Osbourne, if you're a younger viewer or something like that, go back to the beginning, get yourself Blizzard of Oz, and work your way through. So, yeah, sorry to be a bit of a downer on this one, folks. This is the last review for a little while. I've got a night shift to do tomorrow, and then I'm off to Dorset for the weekend for my sister's wedding. So I'll be back next week. As ever, thanks for watching. If you've made it to the end of the video, if you could just give us one of them. And if you're new to the channel, this is your first viewing, welcome aboard. I'm not normally this negative. Check out some older videos, and subscribe if you feel you need to do so. So, thanks for watching. God bless you all. I'll see you all soon. Take care.